Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked, where I climb the online regulation VGC ladder in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and provide live commentary as I go. In this video, I'm going to be featuring one of the most unique Pokemon I've tried so far on this channel in Dartrix. Dartrix is a Pokemon that basically has 0% usage in competitive VGC, but a player recently found a set to make it really quite viable. It gets access to support moves like Tailwind as well as Rain Dance, and it is a very nice partner for Archaludon, because you can also self-bullet seed yourself to increase your defense and activate stamina. The team has some other fun picks like Dual Screens Grimsnarl, which is not very common in Regulation H, as well as Sinistcha with Protect, which can of course be really disruptive. You've also got Pokemon like Assault Vest Tyranitar and Ursaluna Bloodmoon to deal lots of damage. As always, I'll do a quick breakdown of the team, but if you want to just skip to the battles, check out the timestamps down below, and thanks so much as always for joining me. If you enjoy, I'd really appreciate if you consider leaving a like in the video or subscribing to the channel. It really helps out a ton. Anyway, let's get started. If you're interested in trying out the team, the rental code is on the screen, and there's also an accompanying PokePaste down below. This team features a really unique Pokemon in Dartrix, basically something that no one else uses. And Dartrix is just kind of a funny Pokemon. I found that in my experience using it, people really underestimate it, and this Dartrix is the perfect partner for this Archaludon. It's an Electric Terra Stamina Archaludon with Shuka Berry and Electro Shot and Protect. The idea is that a lot of times when people see Archaludon, they expect you to be Assault Vested, so being able to Protect is really nice, and Shuka Berry really saves you from all of those powerful ground type attacks in the format. Dartrix can set up Tailwind for Archaludon as well as Rain Dance and Self-Bullet Seed. You also have Tyranitar and Ursaluna, both which are really powerful attackers. Tyranitar is a really interesting anti-meta Pokemon at the end of Regulation H because Focus Sash is everywhere, especially picking up on Pokemon like Annihilate, and Multi-Scale Dragonite is really common as well. So Tyranitar Sand alone has a lot of value, and of course it can deal really meaningful damage. You've got a Grimsnarl, which can set up screens, as well as taunt your opponent, and a Sinistcha, which can heal up the Archaludon and make it even more difficult to KO, while also setting up Trick Room in the late game. So a lot of different fun combos with this team, but the Dartrix Archaludon duel in particular is so fun. Breaking down the team, the first Pokemon I want to highlight is, of course, Dartrix. Dartrix is a Pokemon that people will often honestly see in team preview and probably think it's kind of a joke. They will probably think, hey, like, what is this Pokemon even doing? I don't think it really has anything to threaten me. And they'll often either, ignore it or maybe launch one attack into it. The reality is that this Dartrix actually gets access to some incredible moves like Tailwind and Rain Dance. So it is the perfect partner here for the Archaludon. Both Tailwind and Rain Dance are so helpful in enabling the Archaludon, and you can also self-bullet seed to increase your defense while also Leaf Storming to deal damage. Dartrix is not the fastest Pokemon. It's only base 52 speed, so you have to keep that in mind as well, because you will be outsped by common Pokemon like Dragonite as well as Goldengo, and that can be a little bit scary. You've got Focus Sash here rather than Eviolite because you want to invest so heavily in speed and special attack anyway, and so the Focus Sash just means you can at least take one big attack and guarantee setting up a setup move if you're not getting doubled up into, for example. Archaludon is the perfect partner for this, and this Archaludon set is really unique. It's a combination of different Archaludons we've seen throughout Regulation H. You've got the Electric Terra, Electro Shot, Thunderbolt combination, but there's no Power Herb actually, which normally your opponents would not expect, and that's because you've got the manual Rain Dance here to enable those Electro Shots. The Archaludon here also has Shuka Berry, which is so nice in dealing with Pokemon like Garchomp as well as Ursaluna, and you've got Stamina plus Body Press as well as Protect. And so it's just a really surprising Archaludon in Best of 1, because then some people might expect it to be very offensive with Electro Shot if they see that. Some people might expect it to be Assault Vest if they see the Stamina give a bunch of boosts, especially when Bullet Seed is activating it. And then so when you have Protect thrown onto it and you have this defense as well as this offense, it can really, really be a very clutch Pokemon. I find that this is probably the overall MVP of this team, but the Dartrix is what's really necessary in order to enable it. To round out the team, you've got two other support mons in Dual Screens Grimsnarl. This is a very classic Pokemon, but actually hasn't seen a ton of usage in Reg H, but Screens Grim is so nice because a lot of this team is relying on Archaludon to stay on the field for a long period of time. And then you also have Taunt, which is really nice, especially in the closed team sheet Best of 1 environment. You can stop so many shenanigans from happening. Parting Shot's also really nice. Just keep in mind you have no offense on this Pokemon, so once you set up, you really got to get it out of the way and bring out other Pokemon. You've got two other powerful attackers in Tyranitar as well as Ursaluna Bloodmoon. Tyranitar is a really cool Pokemon in the format because there are a lot of Pokemon that either have Focus Sash or run Multi-Scale, right? You've got Focus Sash on things like Sneasler as well as Annihilate, which has been picking up usage, and you also have Multi-Scale on Dragonite. So being able to break all of those with just setting up Sand is really valuable. Obviously, you've also got Rain on this team, so you just have to be a little bit careful about the anti-synergy that can happen. And so normally you want to make sure that you get Tyranitar in once you've either, for example, gotten your boost off with the Archaludon, or maybe start the game with the Tyranitar and then end with Rain, for example. One key thing to note here is that the Tyranitar actually has Iron Head rather than something like Low Kick. Iron Head is really nice because Fairy, Terra, Volcarona can be annoying, so this allows you to bait out the Terra when you have Rock Slide, they go for Fairy Terra, and then you can just hit them for super effective damage with Iron Head. Ursaluna Bloodmoon is also on this team and is a very offensive set. This is min speed Ursaluna Bloodmoon, so keep this in mind as well. You don't really want to be using the Ursaluna or the Tyranitar under Tailwind a ton. Tyranitar here at least has, 31 speed IVs and 36 speed EVs, but Ursaluna here just has no speed investment, so even under Tailwind, it's still going to be slower than most of your opponent's Pokemon generally. But this is an incredible sweeper under Trick Room, and more recently we've seen Ursaluna being used on fast-paced teams, but this is a really valuable late-game closer, and as a result, you can actually invest a little bit more in bulk than the max speed, max special attack Ursalunas that have been a little bit more popular recently. Sinistcha is the glue that kind of holds it all together. This allows you to heal up your Archaludon, which is really nice, especially when you set up screens and you parting shot into your opponent, and this keeps getting boosts. It also allows you to set up a late game Trick Room, enabling Tyranitar and Ursaluna, as well as potentially Archaludon based on how fast your opponent's Pokemon are, to sweep under Trick Room. So this is a really nice late game win condition. I often find myself leading, for example, Dartrix plus the Archaludon, or using Grimsnarl to set up screens and have a Pokemon that can deal damage next to it, then bring out Sinistcha in the mid to late game, set up Trick Room, and then sweep under Trick Room after using, for example, Dartrix in the early game. So one combo you can consider is Dartrix plus the Archaludon, Sinistcha plus one of T-Tar plus Ursaluna. You can also just lead like Grim, T-Tar, Grim, or Archaludon, Grim, Ursa. Just keep in mind that this Archaludon, because it can't just Power Herb Electroshot, is not actually the most powerful, and that's why Dartrix is such a valuable partner for it, because it not only can change the weather for you and set up the rain for those Electroshots, but also can activate those body presses and enable you to do more damage a little bit quicker. So I'm normally would like Archaludon only if I can have Dartrix out next to it ideally. Otherwise, it can kind of just sit on the field and maybe soak up some damage, but not really do a ton. But yeah, this is the main duel that you're going to want to look at when using this team. In terms of weaknesses, I think a lot of this Dartrix set relies on your opponents not knowing what it does, and so if you have any knowledge of this team, you can, for example, just aggressively target Dartrix down immediately. For example, if you are playing against this team, just doubling up into it with two Pokemon that are faster than it is a complete nightmare, because then Dartrix is KO'd, Archaludon's often going to be next to the Dartrix, and if Dartrix is knocked out before you're able to do anything with it, it means no Tailwind, no Rain Dance, no Bullet Seed. So using fast Pokemon to KO Dartrix before it can move is really valuable. Multi-hit moves can also be really nice in KOing it through Focus Sash. So for example, your loaded dice Scale Shot users like Excalibur and Dragonite can be really good, as well as Dual Wing Beat from Talonflame. This Pokemon has no bulk, it has no protect. You do have the Ghost Terra, but of course if you don't Ghost Terra, you're going to be vulnerable to Fake Out plus another attack just KOing you as well. So those are all things to watch out for. Archaludon on this team, like I mentioned, is not going to be as strong if the Dartrix just goes down immediately, and so if you can knock out the Dartrix before it's able to do much, then Archaludon will not be able to do nearly as much. And knowing that it's only electric and fighting type damage here is valuable as well. If Rain isn't set up, Electroshot is basically useless, and Electric Terra Thunderbolt with no special attack boost, not the scariest attack, and since you have no defense investment here, body presses aren't doing a ton of damage before the Archaludon is really able to stack up a bunch, and so that's something to keep in mind. Obviously, Archaludon with Body Press doesn't love going up against ghost types and Pokemon that, of course, just don't take a ton from fighting type damage. Ursaluna here has to obviously worry about fighting type damage because you're normal Terra and you're really slow here, so unless Trick Room is set up, you're often going to be outsped by your opponent. Tyranitar is not able to protect, and of course is going to be weak to ground and fighting type attacks in particular, so you have to really be careful about those. The Sinistcha here has to worry about, I'd say Taunt is actually one of the biggest threats to it, because if you taunt it, all it's really doing is clicking Matcha Gotcha. Not being able to Trick Room with this can be a complete nightmare, and one of Grimsnarl's weaknesses on this set is that you don't have any offensive attacks, and so this cannot win you a late game by itself, right? You're going to need other Pokemon under screens to close it out, but if you're just stuck with Grimsnarl on the end game, it will just not be able to do damage, so you really have to keep that in mind as well. So those are just a couple things that I wanted to note. We've got a Staraptor here with Murkrow, Goldengo, Archaludon, Ursaluna, and Garchomp. So Body Press here is really good into everything other than the Goldengo. Obviously Murkrow can haze, so we have to be careful about that. I'm intrigued by Grimsnarl for screen setup. Our Ursaluna Bloodmoon, I think, can do a lot of damage. And we do have the Shuckleberry on this, which is really nice. Low-key, I'm thinking about Dartrix plus the Archaludon with Bloodmoon in the back. I could go Sinistcha fourth. I was talking about bringing Grimsnarl. Tyranitar here, I don't think I really love. Yeah, it would mainly be to pressure the Golden Go. So we want to support Mon. I think Sinistcha in the back generally makes more sense. Grimsnarl, I think if I'm bringing, I generally want to lead with it. So I am down for Sinistcha fourth. If I could get a self-bullet seed immediately and just activate our Archaludon, that would be awesome. We can also, of course, go for something like Rain Dance, Electric Terra, Electro Shot into the Murkrow to try to eliminate that. And the Shuka Berry here should actually be very helpful in a matchup where my opponent has multiple ground-type attackers in Garchomp and Ursaluna. So let's see. Golden Go and Staraptor. Okay. I think the main scary thing about Staraptor is Final Gambit. It's not Intimidate, which is interesting. I think turn 1, I'm leaning towards Tailwinding. I could Tailwind. Tailwind Protect honestly doesn't seem too bad here. Yeah, I'm down. This way I don't have to commit a Terra. We have Focus Sash. Maybe they double up on Dartrix. Let's see. Alright, they're going to U-turn into it. So Staraptor will switch out. The question here, does Golden Go go for something like a Nasty Plot? Murkrow could come in right now for my opponent. It's going to be their own Archaludon, okay? And they try to trick into my Archaludon. So normally with Trick, you're going to be Scarf for Specs. It shouldn't be Scarf, given that they had the Staraptor. So that's obviously a pretty good turn for us. Now I'm actually thinking about sending it with Rain Dance, Electric Terra, Electro Shot. Alternatively, I'm thinking about Side Bullet Seed to get this activated, but I think this might actually switch out, and I don't want to get tricked. This is kind of a cool way to just snipe off Golden Go, but Golden Go is actually going to switch out, okay? Into Ursaluna. All right. Good play by them. Disappointing because I definitely could have gone for the self-bullet seed play. I thought they maybe wanted to consider going for Trick again. And I didn't want to be locked into Body Press. With this, I'll still get a special attack boost, which is never bad. But if Dartrix goes down, obviously I won't be able to Body Press. And given that they didn't Terra their Archaludon, could have gone for the Body Press here. Although, I'm going to guess they are sturdy if they were willing to make this play. Okay. Attack into Ursa. Okay, cool. And they just Body Press into us. Sweet. So they'll give us a boost. I don't mind that. 2 turns of Tailwind left. I can definitely now go for Bullet Seed onto myself. And angle to Body Press. I think like Ursa here should protect or switch. But maybe they don't think I'll knock him out because of this Electric Terra, so I'll target it down. They're going to go for Terra here. Ghost Terra Ursa is what we don't want to see right now. It's going to be Poison. Okay. So defensive Ursaluna here. Dartrix will be able to Bullet Seed though, so we will get our Archaludon boosted up quite nicely. But the question is whether or not it'll survive the turn. I think likely it won't. Okay, we crit ourselves as well, which is not super ideal. Okay. Yeah, it takes it like an absolute champ there. They're going to launch Electro Shot into us. Okay, that's fine. I mean, if they're going for Earth Power here instead of the they're going to KO Dartrix. If they go for Earth Power instead of Blood Moon, I should survive thanks to Shuka Berry, and then I get a free switch into the Sinistcha. So it actually wouldn't be that bad. And then I can actually angle to set up Trick Room with Sinistcha, which is awesome. Nice. The Shuka Berry comes up huge here. Okay, awesome. Beautiful. I survive. Another stamina boost. Now I can bring in Sinistcha. Okay. So the main thing is, right now I think I actually want to angle to set up Trick Room. One turn of Tailwind left. Got Staraptor Gold and Go in the back. This is boosted up very nicely defensively, but my opponent is basically brought all, or mainly special attackers. I'm mainly worried about setting up Trick Room, and then their Ursaluna is actually faster than us under Trick Room, which would be a problem. We can use our Ursaluna to sweep in late Trick Room, though. So I'm actually thinking here I go Trick Room and Electroshot into Ursa. Sweet. Golden Go switches, or Archaludon switches. Into Golden Go, trying to take a body press, presumably. The question now is whether or not the +2 Electroshot KOs the Blood Moon, because I think Blood Moon's probably Assault Vested here, but I'm Electric Terra, I am at +2 special attack, so this is obviously going to be a pretty powerful attack. And if we get the knockout here, I feel very confident in the game. Sweet, we get the KO. Okay. Well, Dartrix was awesome for us in this game. It was able to set up Tailwind for us. It was able to set up the Rain for the Archaludon. The Bullet Seed helped increase our defense, and we were able to have Shuka Berry activate on the Archaludon. So I am very pleased. Tailwind peters out, and now we've set up both Trick Room and Tailwind in one game. So the end game is looking decent because I have the Staraptor comes out. Okay. I gotta respect Make It Rain from this, but Electroshot is really free onto the Golden Go because we saw Trick. So I think here I'm happy to actually just go for Rage Powder and Electroshot into the Golden Go. Staraptor here, we saw U-turn. Normally you're going to want to run other attacks like Brave Bird or Double Edge, Close Combat. But they're just going to hard switch Golden Go into Archaludon. So it's a nice bait by them. I'm still fine with this, though. Because if you KO Sinistcha, then you just give me a free switch into Ursaluna, which really wants to be out right now. And I think my opponent should just be faster than me with their Pokemon. So under Trick Room, they'll be slower. And we can really utilize that to our advantage. Okay. Here's a +3 Electroshot. That does so much damage. Does give them a stamina boost, but that's okay. And they'll just Brave Bird, which is perfect. This gives us the free switching we're looking for into Ursaluna. Beautiful. So with this, Ursa comes out now, and I can just Earth Power Electroshot, and that should KO both slots. So Ursa will come out. Really, so happy to feature so many of the tricks that we have on this team. Earth Power into you, and Electroshot into you. You can't really switch either Pokemon. Yep, Earth Power now should just get the knockout here. Perfect. And we saw Archaludon was faster than Staraptor under Trick Room, so it would just be 2 knockouts, and then you're stuck with a choice Golden Go in the end game. So being able to leverage Tailwind in the early game to outpace our opponent and then use Trick Room in the late game to outpace our opponent was really, really fun in this one. Obviously, I think could have been scary if they had gone straight for that Blood Moon from Ursaluna onto Archaludon. I wasn't sure what kind of Ursaluna it was, which is why I was willing to go for the Bullet Seed plus the Body Press play, because a lot of Ursalunas these days are still normal Terra or something like Water Terra, for example. But Poison was like the perfect Terra for them, obviously, because it allowed them to resist our fighting type damage. But since they didn't get the knockout in return, and they actually switched out the Archaludon the turn that I knocked out the Ursaluna with Electroshot, it was perfect for us. So Golden Go comes out, and I can just Earth Power into you and Thunderbolt into you. and Earth Power itself should just get the knockout. So yeah, super, super fun game. I think like one of the things that's really awesome about this team is your opponent just will not see a lot of these strategies coming, right? I mean, Dartrix with manual Rain Dance, non-loaded dice, Bullet Seed, and then this Archaludon set is just really wild, right? Stamina with Shuka Berry and Protect and Electric Terra with Electro Shot. And so the element of surprise can go a long way, and all of the surprises I think were really, really handy in this game. Okay, we've got Tyranitar, Houndstone, Scizor, Espeon, Ursaluna, as well as Noivern. A lot of cool picks that we normally don't see these days. But all Pokemon that I've seen some usage here throughout the years, more for like for fun stuff. Scizor, I'm a big fan of, so it's really cool to see that. We can control the weather with the Dartrix, which is pretty cool. So I think it should definitely be Dartrix, Archaludon. I'm kind of interested in Grimsnarl, honestly, to just set up screens in this one. But maybe I want Dartrix in the endgame then, which is interesting. There's also a Trick Room angle. I could just go Grim Ursa to do a lot of damage early and then Dartrix Archaludon afterwards. Honestly, alternatively, I'm thinking of just leading Dartrix Archaludon. Ursa in the back. Probably don't want T-Tar because I want to prioritize setting up Rain in this game. Sinistcha with Rage Powder is never a bad pick. Grim is interesting because if Dartrix goes down, I can set up screens for the Archaludon. But I think I'll go with Sinistcha. The recovery from it and the redirection support is just so nice. But I don't know. I think one of the leads we could have considered was like Grimsnarl plus Archaludon, set up a screen turn 1 and like protect Archaludon, or just attack Parting Shot turn 2. The main thing is, you know, Archaludon obviously can't Electro Shot very easily unless I have set up the Rain for it. So one of my kind of offensive tools is not fully unlocked early on. Unless I lead Dartrix, right? But it is going to be Dartrix plus the Archaludon here. So I'm low-key thinking about just going for side Bullet Seed into Body Press. Alright, I'm kind of down. The scary thing here is obviously without loaded dice, we don't know how many hits we're going to get of Bullet Seed. Calm Mind Espeon. That's interesting. Okay. No Terra from the Ursa, so that's good. Even if we only get like 2 hits and we don't knock out Ursa, it's honestly fine. Yeah, like, because I'll survive an Earth Power in return, and then the next turn I can consider Protect Tailwind. So, 2 hits. 3 hits. Okay. Just 3 hits, but that's fair. Can't really expect a ton. And we actually do fail to pick up the knockout as a result, but they're going to just end up Hyper Voicing here, so not a terrible trade for us at the end of the day. Archaludon does end up getting crit, but that will increase our defense once more. So now we are at +4. Okay. Would have been nice to get the knockout there, but it's important to highlight, you know, the variance that can happen when you are running the non-loaded dice Bullet Seed combo. So I think here I'll go for Tailwind. My guess is Ursaluna protects. Espeon here, I would think should go for the knockout onto Dartrix. But if I get the Tailwind up, awesome. Otherwise, I can angle to set up Trick Room and then use Sinistcha under Trick Room. The problem is Espeon with Calm Mind means I actually can't do a ton of damage to it right now, which is a little bit scary, but I'm a Tailwind Protect here. And we're going to get them to commit a Terra. Okay. Terra Espeon, maybe? Yep. Into Terra Fighting. Whoa. Okay. I'm very glad I ended up protecting here. Terra Fighting implies that they were probably going to try to just hit me with Terra Blast. Yep. Okay. That is very cool. I would not have expected that. I'm very glad I scouted out for that. Now we actually set up Tailwind, which is awesome. Alright. Probably a Hyper Voice here. Cool. So Dartrix faints, but it gives me the free switch it into my Ursaluna, which is perfect. I could also go into Sinistcha, right? Because with Sinistcha I can redirect, but I think I'm more intrigued by Ursaluna because I can just Electric Terra this and then Hyper Voice plus Body Press. yeah. The main thing to note, though, is that Ursaluna is not actually going to be super good under Tailwind because, as you can see here, it is a minus speed nature. But Archaludon here now hits 210, so we should be outpacing Espeon. So I think I'm just going to go for Hyper Voice here. Fighting Terra, or Electric Terra, to get rid of the weakness to the fighting, and then Body Press Espeon. Espeon, though, however, here could actually go for the Terra Blast onto the Ursaluna. Maybe Sinistcha was just a safer pick then, to be honest, because like if this actually KOs, that'd be really bad. I was just assuming I was gonna survive. Oh, Body Press actually just gets the KO. Okay, nice. that was the other thing I was thinking about, but I was like, what if +1 Calm Mind like boosted Terra Blast actually KOs Ursa? This Ursaluna is bulky, but so Calculate might be worth running. It's just like, I don't know, random Terra Blasts from Pokemon that you don't see very frequently are really hard to cover for. But yeah, I think if I brought Sinistcha, I just wasn't sure about that calc onto the Body Press calc. Sinistcha may have been a safer bring because it would have given me recovery, would have had Rage Powder support. Ursa would still be threatening with Hyper Voice, but it's going to be Houndstone plus T-Tar in the back for my opponent. Okay. This can last respects, obviously. 2 turns of Tailwind left on my end. But you already committed your Terra, so this is 1 Body Press away from fainting. To be honest, I think here I lean towards just going for Bloodmoon onto Houndstone and then Protect with the Archaludon. Because you obviously can't last respects into the Ursa slot. So the worst you could do is Will-O-Wisp me. But it is just going to be last respects. Cool. Okay. And honestly, we have all the defense boosts. I don't think I really even need to be that scared of Houndstone, but Bloodmoon just gets the KO anyway. Also, I said Will-O-Wisp me, but you can't, I mean, burning Ursaluna is not even really that scary because we're obviously special Ursaluna. So I'm trying to think, like, what is the worst offensive attack they could go for into us? Like, I don't think anything was knocking out Ursaluna anyway, so, yeah. Sand damage, yeah, we can just stay in with both here. I mean, might as well take the recovery, actually, in case they protect with T-Tar. I don't think it actually ends up ever mattering. Yeah. So I think what was big in this game was that my opponent wasn't able to snipe off my Archaludon with that Fighting Terra Blast, and then we were able to boost our defense enough through the combination of Bullet Seed and then going for Hyper Voice onto us to give us another boost early on in that game as well. So yeah. But once again, I think the Shuka Berry with Earth Power is just a Shuka Berry to protect yourself from like things like Earth Power is really nice because you can play with so much more confidence against the ground type attackers. Rank number 27, and they are rocking Hawlucha. Very cool. Hawlucha, Volk, Pelly, Arch, Baxcalibur, Whimsicott. Okay. I'm really curious about Hawlucha here because it actually is not paired with a seed, or it's not paired with terrain. Like, you'll often see it with Psychic Seed or Grassy Seed so that Unburden activates. So I actually have no idea what it wants to do. T-Tar here is interesting. I am tempted by Grimsnarl in this one, I have to say. How good is Self-Bullet Seed here? It's not bad, I just don't know if I can get it off that easily. I'm thinking something like Grim. Ursaluna does so much damage, so I feel like I want to prioritize its damage. But then who am I dropping in this game? Grimsnarl. Archaludon. Sinistcha. I might not even bring T-Tar, because I really value the special damage under Trick Room. I think if they didn't have dual fighting types, I would consider T-Tar a little bit more. Like, what I'm scared about is with T-Tar, I'm often going to be forced to Terra in front of the fighting types, and then suddenly if I Terra, I'm weak to Electro Shot from Archaludon as well as Icicle Spear from Baxcalibur. So, let's see. Dartrix, I didn't love in this one because they have Tailwind with Whimsicott, so if I set up Tailwind and they set up Tailwind, like, Dartrix just doesn't really accomplish very much, and they also have Pelipper, so Rain might be set up through them instead. This is probably coaching. That would make a lot of sense. Coaching. I do have Taunt, honestly, so I'm thinking about just going for Taunt turn 1, Reflect turn 2, Parting Shot turn 3. Just Taunt Body Press. Because I think preventing a coaching is actually a big deal. Terra comes out immediately. They could just play super offensively with Hawlucha, which is what I'm worried about. But its back's going for Terra. Ghost. Okay, well, we have Shuka Berry, so it could be worse. But they could just close combat Earthquake me, which I don't love. I'm hoping they're going for coaching here, or Tailwind. Okay, nice. And they Earthquake. Alright, this is not a bad turn at all for us then. Sweet. Okay. Yeah, we don't take a ton there. And I get a stamina boost. Now I'll be able to body press into you. Not a ton of damage, but that's okay. Now I can go for the Reflect this turn into Protect. Reflect, Protect, and then Parting Shot, Body Press, I think. Sinistcha on the back provides us good healing, which is great. Okay. Grim sets up the Reflect. Let's see if they can KO Grimsnarl here. Rock Tomb? Whoa. We actually dodge it. I don't think that was going to get the... I mean, this double up wasn't going to get the KO anyway, though. So, yeah. But good prediction on the Archaludon potentially protecting. Sweet. We don't really take that much there. Now I can Parting Shot into you. It's the last turn that you're taunted here. Parting Shot. Arch should be able to take attacks pretty well because I'll Parting Shot and bring out the Sinistcha and then angle to set up Trick Room with this. I'm actually thinking about Thunderbolting here into Hawlucha. Because I don't think Body Press is going to KO this even with 2 more stacks anyway. So, yeah, I'm down. Okay. So now it's -1 Archaludon, or Baxcalibur against +1 defense, and I have Reflect set up, and I get Sinistcha in for healing. So all of that is good news for us. Okay. Okay, cool. We just Rock Tomb again. No fighting type attack into us. Speed drops. Earthquake comes out. Perfect. So just get more recovery. Or more defense, I should say. At this point, really shouldn't be doing a ton to us. Yeah. Awesome. There's a stamina boost. And Archaludon goes for Thunderbolt here. Brings you down to Sash. Cool. I think now I can actually angle to set up Trick Room. The play I'm leaning towards is Water Terra this, so that your ice type attacks, like Icicle Spear, don't really scare me that much. Honestly, Archaludon isn't even really threatened right now, so I don't necessarily need to protect, right? I think we can just play offensively with it. But Water Terra, Trick Room, and Body Press is intriguing to me. Like, with Water Terra, you just really do no damage to Archaludon at this point. Or, sorry, with Water Terra, you do no damage to Sinistcha. And with Reflect and Citrus Berry, I just don't think there's any combo that can really deal with Sinistcha right now. Oh. That's cool. I could have protected. I didn't even know that I got access to Endeavor. It's frustrating because Protect there is just game winning probably, because then I set up Trick Room and just Body Press plus Machagacha, but I didn't really think I was in threat of anything. It's still okay because honestly I set up Trick Room, but it's just the same because I think Archaludon was so well set up in this game. But now I can just bring out Ursaluna and Bloodmoon Machagacha away. That was really cool. Endeavor, Coaching, Rock Tomb. I'm curious just what offense it even has to offer. I still can't tell the item on Baxcalibur. Normally with the set like this, I would think Assault Vest, but what a cool way to surprisingly knock out my Archaludon. I did have Protect, and so I would have been able to protect in front of my opponent, but definitely didn't expect that combo. And this is the upside of using unexpected Pokemon, right? But they're not going to protect either. Yep, they survive Blood Moon, but Machagacha here should get the double knockout as long as we don't miss. Sweet. Okay. It just felt like the game was, like, essentially locked up if my Archaludon doesn't go down there. Because, like, you just do no damage to me, and I can keep cycling Sinistcha for healing. But right now I still have Sinistcha plus Blood Moon, right? The main thing to note is that Grimsnarl is not doing any damage for us in this game. Like, literally no damage, because I have no attacks with it, right? So I'm going to have to rely primarily on Ursaluna Bloodmoon to carry us to a victory here. And yeah, I can't help but think, like, I don't know. It could be Volk, it could be Pelly, it could be Arch. It is going to be Archaludon coming out. Okay. Pelipper as the last would be my guess. Yeah, so, like, my Arch would have been just so well positioned here, but still okay. Right now, what do I want to do? I obviously could just Machagacha plus Earth Power into you. I could double protect right now. This turn. I could Rage Powder Hyper Voice if we think they're going to protect this slot. Pelly probably is sashed is my guess. Sinistcha so rarely carries Protect, so I'm down to double Protect this turn to scout out for what they want to do. Ideally bait out a Protect from one slot and then KO it the next turn. This also means next turn I have Blood Moon plus Machagacha online now. Nice. Yeah, Archaludon protects, okay. Ooh, and it's Muddy Water as well. Okay, well, I'm glad we scouted for that. If you're in Muddy Water, I actually think there's a chance this is Choice Specs. Because the Sash was already on the Hawlucha. So I think what I want to do then is Machagacha here and Blood Moon into Pelly. And just try to eliminate this. And a Machagacha in case they're bulky enough to survive this, but they're not. Okay, awesome. Machagacha here also just breaks Grimsnarl sturdy in case they are that. Okay. And then I'm just one Earth Power away from winning the game. Heal back as well. Probably Electroshot, but if you Electroshot, I just bring out Grim. And then Grim just sets up Light Screen, and I just Light Screen Earth Power for the win. So, yeah. Mainly didn't want to get caught off guard by Pelly. Unfortunately, yeah, by going for the Protect, we're able to just reset our Blood Moon counter. So, Sinistcha faints, but now I get the switch him back into Grim. I think all the Pokemon were actually pretty important in this game, and I think it would not have been very easy to bring Dartrix, especially into a matchup where your opponent has, like, Whimsicott as well as the Baxcalibur. Like, Baxcalibur can just, like, KO us through Focus Sash with multi-hit moves if they were the Scale Shot variant, which is pretty standard. I think in the end they were actually Assault Vest on it, since the AB is not on this. But last one, a Trick Room. So it's really nice, because what this means is I can just Light Screen and Earth Power. You'll Protect, but then I can just go for Parting Shot. So their win conditions is crit right now. Crit, like, Draco onto Ursa. But, yeah, with Light Screen and Parting Shot, your no attack should get the knockout onto Ursa unless they get a crit. But the Endeavor surprise from Hawlucha I thought was very cool. Trick Room expires. Now we Parting Shot and Earth Power. Okay. You're not Assault Vested. We saw you Protect. And once again, Baxcalibur took that Blood Moon, so that should be Assault Vested. Here's Draco. Does it get a critical hit onto us? It does not. Beautiful. And with the Light Screen and Parting Shot, despite them having a special attack boost, Earth Power comes out and gets the KO. Very nice. Yeah, I'm very happy with Grimsnarl's performance in this game. Being able to set up the screens to allow my Archaludon to survive the early game as well as the Ursaluna in this end game was huge. And yeah, I think if I had just protected with the Archaludon and set up Trick Room, there's no way my opponent could have handled the Archaludon plus Sinistcha combo under Trick Room. But fortunately, we had kind of built up a decent enough lead where Bloodmoon under Trick Room is just also a huge threat. So having multiple carries on this team I think is very valuable, with Archaludon obviously being a primary one, but Ursaluna also being very, very good under Trick Room. Okay, we've got Dragonize, Alolan Ninetales, Annihilate, Incin, Porygon, Ursaluna. This very much feels like a kind of anti-meta team towards the end of the format. It's funny because I say anti-meta even though obviously it has like very meta staples like Incin, Porygon, but specifically the Annihilate is a pick that people have been using a lot recently because it's very good into things like the Incineroar, which has kind of reclaimed its spot as the #1 Pokemon. Sneasler can't do much into it. With Safety Goggles, you can wall Amoonguss. The Alolan Ninetales here might have Icicle Spear to activate the Annihilate, so that's one thing that we definitely have to be careful about. That would be a huge issue for us. So what's my way around it? I could redirect it with Sinistcha. Ursaluna under Trick Room I think does incredible damage here. Dartrix does offer Tailwind. I'm thinking Dartrix Arch. Dartrix Arch, Sinistcha Ursa. Yeah. I suspect if my opponent goes Alolan Ninetales Annihilate, though, this game may have required a Sinistcha lead. Because with Sinistcha lead, I could Water Terra, Rage Powder, Icicle Spear away. So, for example, Sinistcha plus the Ursaluna, because then I can just, like, Bloodmoon. It is Ninetales Annihilate, so yeah, maybe I should have led Sinistcha here. Because they do get a free Icicle Spear right now, which will stack up Rage Fist. Good thing is, we can... I wonder if they ever consider just Icicle Spearly into Dartrix, to be honest. I personally want to Tailwind and Protect turn 1. But maybe Icicle Spear just KOs poor Dartrix. I don't know. I'm assuming they have Icicle Spear. I'd be surprised if they didn't. But yeah, I think in this one, my idea was if I survive turn 1, then turn 2 I can self-Bullet Seed and get my defense up. And I will ignore the Annihilate, set up Trick Room, use Ursaluna Bloodmoon to blow it up under Trick Room. But I think a more effective lead may have just been leading Sinistcha with Ursaluna. Oh, they just go for Blizzard. Okay. So that'll bring me down to Sash. Did they double up onto the slot now is the question. They don't, and it's close combat. Ooh, interesting. Okay. Interesting. So we successfully set up Tailwind, which is great. This is quite offensive if you're running close combat. I think what I can do now is just Rain Dance, Electric Terra, Electro Shot. But before I lock that in, the rest of their team is fairly physical, so stacking up stamina on this would not be bad. I'm definitely clicking Rain Dance, I think. Yeah, I think I want to go for it. Rain Dance, Electric Terra, Electro Shot. Okay, no switches. My idea would be Ninetales protecting here, but we'll see. Not Scarf Annihilate. So, close combat Focus Sash Annihilate has actually been a thing recently with coaching. If it's Sashed, I mean, it's still okay because I take away my weakness. And even if you do a lot of damage to me, Sinistcha can just come in and heal it back up. I think the main debate here is like I could have potentially just gotten a knockout onto the Ninetales slot. So we'll see if Annihilate survives this, if they're just bulky enough, or if they have Focus Sash. But this is a pretty powerful attack. Oh, just misses the KO, okay. Blizzard is going to miss, though, onto the Dartrix and onto the Archaludon. So setting up the rain was actually really clutch here. And they final Gambit for what is going to be basically no damage. Okay, that could not have been a better turn for us. Final Gambit is cool. Yeah, like, I've seen and lost against Safety Goggles Annihilate with Final Gambit, Close Combat, Taunt. They bring Ursa out. Okay, Ursa's probably Ghost Terra, you would guess, right? Interesting, though. If you Terra, like, this turn you probably want to protect. I think it's an opportunity to Bullet Seed Archaludon. And the question is, do I want to Electroshock here into Ninetales? I think probably. There's nothing I can really switch into it. Okay, Ninetales switches. That's fine. Into Porygon. So it could have been Bullet Seed Body Press here, but I'm happy to get a free special attack boost like this. Ursa didn't protect, though, so I totally could have just body pressed it. Wow. No protect or Terra, actually, which is surprising. But that's okay. I think if it's Swords Dances, this is where things would get kind of interesting. But for now, it's okay. Archaludon's going to get boosted quite nicely. We get a couple of extra hits here, which is so awesome. 5 hits total. So your physical damage from the Ursa, not really super scary. I still have Shuka Berry, and I have the switch into the Sinistcha to heal as well. But I could have just won the game this turn if I actually just clicked Body Press onto Ursa, but I thought it would protect or Ghost Terra for sure. So good decision by them to not go for either. And they're actually going to Facade here into Dartrix, giving me a free switch in. So that is perfect. Awesome. I think the main thing right now is I just need to not get tripped up by Ninetales switching in. So I think we can just bring out Ursaluna right now. I can also bring out Sinistcha. Actually, I think I like Sinistcha more here. I guess Ursa would force their Ursa to protect here, but I like the idea of just getting my Hospitality off onto Archaludon. Because at this point, we're at +6 defense, right? So you don't really scare me with offense, and we wall you. It's the last turn of Tailwind, so I can angle to also set up Trick Room as Tailwind expires. Yeah, so for example, like Trick Room right now. And I'm Trick Rooming mainly because Ninetales, I just don't want to be able to get free Blizzards off. So Trick Room and Body Press here, I think, is safe. Whoa. Oh my gosh. And they don't Ghost Terra. So this Trick Room is actually awkward. My whole idea is I don't mind Trick Rooming, even though I know you're going to outspeed me under Trick Room. But it's fine, right? Like, how much does Earthquake even do to us? I'm at +6 defense, and I have the Shuka Berry. Yeah, not very much. A Headlong Rush will obviously scare me a little bit more, but I can just redirect it away with Rage Powder. But yeah, in my head, I was like, Porygon almost never carries Protect, so then we get the knockout, you switch in Ninetales, we can double that up for a KO, and then my Ursaluna can deal with your Ursaluna. So now you do pressure with Headlong Rush and Ice Beam. I think I'm happy to just Rage Powder here. Body Press. I really want to just target Ursaluna here, because they haven't Ghost Terra twice in front of us. Just seems so, like, I feel like if they're not doing it, they don't have it, but I don't know. Maybe they were just willing to take 2 huge risks in back-to-back turns, and I get baited, and then now they Ghost Terra. But Sinistcha is one of the best Pokemon you can have in the format against Ursaluna, because it's running Facade, Earthquake, Headlong Rush. So, let's see. The Protect on Porygon was a very cool tech as well. My idea was to just force it out. Here's the Terra coming out, so I think I got baited by my opponent not Ghost Terraing in front of us 2 different turns. Oh, it's Terra Pori? Is that Terra Ghost? Terra Flying. Well, that'll allow them to Terra Blast us, but that's okay. I'm not really that worried about Porygon. But Ursa does Protect. Okay, very nice couple of turns by my opponent, honestly. But now our Archaludon should be able to just kind of have free reign throughout this game. The question is, does Terra Blast KO us? Let's find out. It does. Okay. So yeah, me setting up the Trick Room actually kind of worked against us. My whole point of setting up Trick Room was saying Porygon should feint, I get a free switch in into Ursa later on, and then my Ursa plus like should just be enough under Trick Room. So now we will bring out my Ursaluna. Okay. 3 turns of Trick Room. I can go for Hyper Voice here. And Body Press. I'm also thinking about protecting here because I think Porygon may protect. Protecting may be better, honestly. Because I don't... It's... like, the question is, do we think +1 Ice Beam and Burnt Headlong Rush Guts KOs +6 defense Arch? Probably not. So maybe protecting was better. Okay. Good. They Headlong Rush rather than going for an attack onto our Ursa. Yeah, now we just get the double knockout. Oh my gosh, Hyper Voice did so much. I think, yeah, I felt like I had a huge advantage in this game, though, after, like, the double Blizzard miss into Annihilate not really being able to contribute anything. And so the fact my opponent was able to bring it back with, like, basically baiting out a Ghost Terra with Ursa and never going for it was very nicely done. And then Flying Terra on Porygon as well. That is something that you have probably seen with Ursaluna specifically. It's not the most common Terra these days, but it is really good, of course, when you have Ursaluna next to it specifically. So there is only 2 turns of Trick Room left, so you can protect right now and then just Blizzard. And then the question is, do you do enough damage to both with Blizzard? Because right now I can just go for Body Press and Earth Power. They should protect here. But they don't protect. It may be 4 attack Ninetales. Like Aurora Veil, Icicle Spear. Because even though Annihilate didn't Rage Fist in this game, like, I could totally see it having it. So the fact that they didn't stack up Annihilate on turn 1, I was already happy. And then the fact that we were able to set up Tailwind and then do so much damage to Annihilate, making the final Gambit useless, was also really good. So yeah, Dartrix was, once again, very clutch, basically doing everything we wanted to do, which is setting up the Tailwind, setting up the Rain Dance, and being able to side Bullet Seed. Okay, we've got Hyper Offense here with Mouse Ape, Indeedee Armarouge, Indeedee Sneasler, and Whimsicott. 2 potential beat-up users onto Annihilate. Indeedee can obviously activate the terrain. Tyranitar might be a decent pick for us here. I'm a little bit worried about Mouse Ape, though. I think we might want to angle to set up Trick Room with Sinistcha in this game, is how I'm thinking about it. T-Tar's good into Indeedee Armarouge. It's incredible, actually. If I were my opponent, I would probably go Mouse Ape lead. What would I want to do into Mouse Hold Annihilate? If it's Safety Goggles, Mouse Hold, I can't redirect away, which would be very, very sad. I don't love Dartrix in this one, because it also could be Population Bomb Mouse Hold. Yeah, it doesn't feel like the best match for it. So I'm thinking Sinistcha. Like, set up Trick Room is my goal in this game. It could be to set up Trick Room and try to sweep with Ursaluna and T-Tar under Trick Room. So, for example, Grim Sinistcha lead. I don't know. The other part of me is thinking just Sinistcha Ursa. T-Tar Arch. Sorry, Dartrix. Not this time. So I want to explain my reasoning for not bringing Dartrix, because I think Dartrix's main value is to enable Archaludon. The problem is I don't think I have enough turns to actually really get going with that, because my opponent's team is just really fast-paced. They also have a lot of special attackers. Now, they do have Annihilate, but I can't body press the Annihilate. I'd have to be clicking Rain Dance into, like, Electric Terra Electro Shot. And it's Indeedee Mouse Hold. Okay. Well, this is also one of the reasons why I was intrigued by not leading Dartrix, because I think with this, you're probably Population Bomb Mouse, is my guess. So I'm leaning towards just actually Rage Powdering, Normal Terra, Hyper Voice. Yeah, I'm actually very happy to see this lead. I don't know. I can't see it being support Maushold if this is being led. But it could be Pop Bomb and Beat Up. Like, you could run both. No Terra from their end. We're going to rip Terra immediately. Also, I thought about Trick Rooming here, but I think there's a chance I get taunted by Maushold, because you can run Pop Bomb and Taunt. Or NDD tries to reverse Trick Room. What are the chances it would be Goggles? That would make no sense, because then you don't get Wide Lens. Nice try. See, I told you all. This is why I didn't want to lead Dartrix. It would just get blown up by Pop Bomb and Feint on turn 1. Although, that could have been me switching into Archaludon. We crit the NDD, almost just get the KO onto it. Knock out Maushold. Cool. Okay. Obviously a good turn for us, but it's still very far from over, because I think now you can just bring out Armarouge, and Helping Hand Expanding Force is really scary. But if Armarouge comes out, Tyranitar, I can just bring Tyranitar in, right? So I can just protect Ursaluna, switch out Sinistcha into T-Tar. I don't even know if they really wanted to bring Armarouge into this matchup. Like, you would think it's... Oh, they did. Okay. Fine by me. So, yeah, Helping Hand Expanding Force is the play I expect. So now I want to switch in T-Tar and protect. Would have been nicer to set up Trick Room on turn 1. I think there was a world in which I just protect turn 1 and set up Trick Room, but I was worried about Taunt from Maushold as well as NDD reversing my Trick Room, and I figured, like, turn 1 I'd be guaranteed a ton of damage with the play I made. With that crit now, maybe NDD actually feints from sand damage at the end of the turn. But let's see. If I led Dartrix plus Archaludon, they would have been able to just go for, like, Follow Me plus Population Bomb turn 1 onto the Dartrix. I guess I could have Ghost Terra'd Dartrix then, and then side Bullet Seeded. But then if they Follow Me, side Bullet Seed doesn't do anything, so, yeah. The other question here is Armarouge, whether or not you have Aura Sphere, because if so, it actually allows you to hit Tyranitar, but they're gonna commit a Terra here, okay. Psychic Terra? Yeah. You know, the downside, I actually don't want NDD to feint here, because if NDD feints, it gives them a free switch into another offensive option, and I think that's a little bit more scary. Because I think, like, a Sneasler coming out right now would be very bad. I actually don't know if my Terra usage was the best in this game. Like, the damage was great, but... So this turn we take no damage, but now is, I think, a big turn. Okay... if I had Grim, it actually would have been a really cool switch in to set up screens, but... And NED does feint from sand. Okay, I'm worried because I think Sneasler can come out now. I think Grim over Arch actually would have been a better pick for me in this endgame. And it is Sneasler. Yeah, this is still very bad, I think, because now you pressure Close Combat and Expanding Force. But I have Sinistcha with Rage Powder, Ursa just protected. The obvious place to just Close Combat this, Expanding Force this. You just had your Psychic Seed activate. So I'm thinking of switching in Sinistcha to get the recovery. And then get the knockout. Sinistcha to heal. And then Bloodmoon into Armarouge. Because ideally they should be close combating into T-Tar here, and then I'm hoping with this I survive the turn with the Ursaluna, which is bulkier than they might expect. Okay, good. Close combat into that. That gives us the recovery we need. Expanding Force comes out. This is obviously going to do a ton, so the question is, do you knock out the Ursaluna here? Because that would be a disaster. You survive with 7 HP. Okay, nice. Now Bloodmoon should get the KO. I could have targeted Sneasler, by the way, here. I thought there was maybe a world in which Sneasler protects. Probably not, right? Because, if Sneasler protects and I get Expanding Force, that's really bad. But that would be obviously a really risky play by them. But it's okay. Now I bring out the Archaludon. Cool. The main thing was not getting caught off guard by the population bomb stuff in this one. They're probably just going to Dire Claw into Sinistcha. Go out into T-Tar. Yeah, I'm fine just going out into T-Tar. I think, like, you have to Dire Claw Sinistcha, so then I get an Iron Head off, and then if you close combat, both of your Pokemon to faint to just one more attack, and you've already committed Terra here. So I can just Trick Room and Iron Head. We have a big enough lead where I don't have to risk anything. Of course, I could switch Sinistcha out into the Archaludon. I could have protected here as well, but I want to protect and then just let them get a free close combat off. So I'll just take the guaranteed free Iron Head into the... Yeah, and see, that's a 2-hit KO. So any combination of moves on my team is a 2-hit knockout, so no need to like go for any fancy predictions. Great. Arch comes out. Now we just Thunderbolt, Iron Head. Yeah, and they forfeit. Cool. So yeah, Sinistcha Ursaluna, kind of a surprising lead, but the amount of damage that you have from it is amazing, and of course having that Rage Powder turn 1 is huge. I just think like the main thing here is I had to Rage Powder on turn 1 to respect the population bomb. Or like I said, I could have gone Protect Trick Room, but they could always, once again, reverse Trick Room or taunt me. So we got a lot of damage off on the board immediately, which was great. I think one can actually argue the crit on Inity hurt us, because then it meant that I had to make a play. If we don't create Indeedee there, then I safely switch in Tyranitar, and then you don't get a safe switch in into Sneasler. I guess then, though, you can just go for Expanding Force plus Follow Me. So maybe the outcome would have still been similar, because then I probably would have actually switched Ursaluna out into maybe my Archaludon. And then Rock Slide. And then Arch takes a bunch of damage. Then you bring out Sneasler. And then it's kind of a similar situation. So yeah, I mean, I think in the long run, like with the crit, it just meant like Ursaluna needed to survive the Expanding Force. But I think the scary thing is, even though I went up 4-2 basically because of speed, the speed was very much in my opponent's favor. It wasn't like I can just outpace everything and KO them, and they had a lot of offensive pressure onto us with me committing my Terra to Ursaluna turn 1 to get that Hyper Voice damage off. But things ended up working out okay. And yeah, I think you have to really pick and choose when to bring Dartrix and when to leave it home. Okay, this is actually the team that I just featured on the channel. It is the team that won the Sacramento Regional Championships. So if you're looking for strong hyper offense to close out the season with, definitely recommend it. You have the Seed on Sneasler with Dark Terra, the Indeedee, Electabuzz plus Ursaluna, which is really scary because you can Electro Web into Bloodmoon and Earth Power. And then Talonflame can Tailwind. It's Covert Cloak. Our Ursa should be very good. Taunt from Electabuzz is a big issue. Screens from Grim looks good for us here. And if I can get the Bullet Seed onto our Archaludon, Body Press isn't bad. I'm not sure Rain is really that good for us in this one. Yeah, I think Electabuzz invalidates Dartrix, unfortunately. So I'm thinking Grim. Grim, Arch, Sinistcha, T-Tar. I feel silly to not bring my Ursaluna, honestly, because Ursaluna just does so much damage to the opposing team. Yeah, I don't know if I love my Pokemon choice here. I think it probably should be Sinistcha over T-Tar, but I think T-Tar was tempting because of its matchup into Indeedee, and with Flying Terra Assault Vest, I don't have to worry about your Ursaluna either. It's instant Sneasler lead, okay. So obviously you pressure Fake Out Dire Claw turn 1 onto Grim. Fake Out Dire Claw. I might Ghost Terror here, honestly, and just rip it to set up a Reflect here. And Body Press. I think I'm down to commit the Ghost Terror here, because I think it's really important, actually, for the screens to be set up in this game to mitigate my opponent's damage output. Here's the Ghost Terra. Because this allows me to then threaten Parting Shot on turn 2, or just Light Screen. No Fake Out though, okay. Maybe just Parting Shot then from Incin. And they just close combat Arch. Ooh, that's a lot of damage still. It's not good. Even with Reflect up. Okay. Great play by them. Woo! Knock off into Grim. Cool play. Body Press now into Incin. Does a lot. I have Parting Shot now. I want a Parting Shot Protect. I'm worried that we see Heart switch into Indeedee, which would block Parting Shot. Because I could also just Heart switch into Sinistcha. This would be a great spot for Indeedee to come out in, honestly. Okay, I'm gonna Parting Shot Protect. They don't switch into Indeedee, so that's a good sign. Okay. Nice play on turn 1, though, to not get baited by something like Fake Out Dire Claw into Grim and just actually close combat Archaludon. Grim will pivot out. And let's go out into Sinistcha. The goal right now, we'll see if Incin ends up switching out here, but if they stay in and I get Trick Room up, we're actually in really good shape. Because now Archaludon heals back up, and I have Reflect, and Sneasler is at -1. Perfect, they close combat into us. Ideally, they close combat and knock off into that slot. Parting Shot would be bad. Okay, great. That's a huge turn then. Now I threaten with Trick Room. So I'm going to Trick Room here. Trick Room, and I think I just Body Press Incin anyway. Although I'm thinking I want damage onto Sneasler, especially since I already committed Terra to Grimsnarl, means I can't Terra T-Tar. Okay, I'm down. They commit Terra here. Might be Terra... Wait, Terra Sneasler? No, Terra Incin to Ghost? I'm surprised they did that because they're faster than me anyway, but I guess this implies to me they're not going for Parting Shot, they're going for Knockoff instead. That's fine, yeah, I barely take any damage. Sweet. This is huge. The whole point in this game was to set up Trick Room. I get Thunderbolt off now. Oof, that's a lot of damage. I get some Paralysis, which I actually don't necessarily want right now. But it's fine. Get set up now. This is the downside where I don't... I'm not able to set up the rain, so I can't Electroshot. Otherwise, being able to Electroshot right now would be so sweet. This Paralysis means that you might actually outpace me under Trick Room, which would not be sweet. I think I want to... I'm going to get T-Tar in, ideally. I'm not sure Thunderbolt even knocks this out. I'm going to bring out Grim here. T-Bolt into Sneasler. Because I want to bring Sinistcha back in for recovery. I also could have just gone Matcha Gotcha Thunderbolt this turn, I think. Which may have been better. Okay, they just Throat Chop into Sinistcha, it's fine. Great, now we've gotten the main threat to my Tyranitar out of the way. Yeah, Parting Shot finally comes out. It's okay. So this buys them a turn with Fake Out. Ursa comes out, no surprise there. I can Light Screen. I'd be happy seeing Incin come back in. I can just Light Screen Protect, Parting Shot, bring out Sinistcha. Yeah. Okay. And I do have the Shukaberry as well. I think it'll be Light Screen this turn, Protect here. One thing to note is they removed our Light Clay, but that's okay. I think 5 turns of Light Screen is good enough. So Light Screen here, Protect with you. And then Parting Shot, bring in Sinistcha again, Body Press Ursa. I also could bring in T-Tar at this point, honestly, if I'm... Because the expectation is for them to Earth Power, right? Activating Shuka Berry. Shuka is huge here. Okay, they actually just Blood Moon. That's fine. Free switching into T-Tar now. I could go into Sinistcha as well, I suppose, but I think I like T-Tar more since I know I have the Shuka Berry. With Shuka and Light Screen, I'm definitely surviving. So, T-Tar first, I think. Pressure with offense a bit more. What do we think the last Pokemon is the question now. Might be Electabuzz. Could be Indeedee as well. But with 2 turns of Trick Room, we really need to make use of these 2 turns. So I want to go Knock Off into Incin, Body Press into Ursa. Yep, they switch. I was expecting Indeedee earlier. It's Electabuzz. Okay. Removing Eviolite's obviously good, but it means they get to Protect with Ursa, and I could have doubled up onto the Electabuzz here. Still okay, though, because specifically I have... Oh my gosh, that does so much damage. Although if I doubled up onto Electabuzz, maybe that would have just been game over. Yeah, the main thing right now is we have that Light Screen set up, which is huge. Last turn of Trick Room. Does Rock Slide KO Electabuzz after removing Eviolite? My guess is no. But I'm thinking about going for it. It should be Earth Power here right now into Archaludon, right? I've got 3 turns of Light Screen left to work with. I think I am actually going to go Knock Off here and Protect. With the expectation that you follow me. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I could have just gone Rock Slide Body Press. If we were going to get a KO onto Electabuzz with Tyranitar, then Body Pressing there is correct. Knock Off actually just KOs. Okay, then I should have just Body Pressed there instead. They do Earth Power into T-Tar as well. But yeah, you can see we don't take a ton of damage there, which is good. So you eat up more Life Orb damage. I think it's fine now, right? Because I can switch in Sinistcha for T-Tar. They could knock off my Shuka Berry. Fake out Earth Power onto Archaludon is what I expect right now. I don't even think that KOs, though. I think here actually I'm down to just knock off Incin and Body Press. Oh, and they fake out T-Tar. Okay. We have faster Body Press. Almost KOs. And they Earth Power into Shuka. Good. Nice. Yeah, Shuka and Light Screen means we survive. Beautiful. Perfect. T-Tar flinches. Reflect finally wears off. I think since we have Sinistcha here, even if I attack into a Protect here, it's the last turn of Light Screen as well. So I'll survive an Earth Power. 2 turns of Sand. +2 defense, Light Screen. I think Ursa should be protecting here, but they might just like Flare Blitz Earth Power. Let's see. Yep, Ursa protects. But that's okay, because it means I get the knockout onto T-Tar, or sorry, onto Incin. They actually Flare Blitz into T-Tar. Huh. Going for a burn? I think if you're going to make this play, you should just be targeting the Archaludon, but maybe they were figuring I need more damage onto it because the Repower isn't going to KO it. I don't know. I think here I could have maybe switched in Sinistcha for T-Tar to get the recovery onto Archaludon to make sure I survive Flare Blitz, because then I'd be at +2 defense. But I figured here you can't knock both of my Pokemon out, right? If you Flare Blitz into me, then I KO you, and then it's a 2v1 into Ursaluna, which I think might just be a Life Orb take away from fainting as well. But now I can just knock off and Body Press. Yeah. Cool. I think what was big for us in this game was actually being able to set up Trick Room. It's a nightmare for that team if Trick Room gets set up. And so, yeah, the fact that we were able to find this mid-game where Trick Room gets set up puts them in a fairly tricky position. Whoa. Very cool Pokemon. Frostlass, Dusknoir, Fire Tauros, Male Indeedee, Sneasler, Ursa. Okay. They are cooking. Given the Ursa, I am thinking, and Sneasler, like, I kind of want the Dartrix plus the Archaludon. We need to deal with the ghost types, though. So T-Tar seems good. Could be these two T-Tar, Sinistcha. I could just bring Ursa. I mean, Ursa just does so much damage, but this gives me a switch it into Indeedee, too. Okay, let's try this out. I think with this, I have to be a little bit more careful into Ursa Bloodmoon. I also just don't really know what Frostlass and Dusknoir want to do here. Normally when I see Frostlass, I would expect like crit strategies where you use Frost Breath to get a crit and get something to +6. And then with Dusknoir, the main thing we have to worry about from it is like Trick Room, for example. And so if it's able to wall my Archaludon, I think it can be a little bit scary. Oh, it's definitely Anger Point on the Tauros, right? Speaking of crit strats. Yeah. Oh, that's actually not good. Okay, they leave Frostlass Tauros. You know what? It's okay, though, because I think what they should do is Frost Breath and then go for the crit and try to knock out Archaludon. So what I'm going to do is just Tailwind, Protect turn 1, and then Rain Dance, Electro Shot turn 2. Electric Terra. But this fails if they just double up onto Dartrix. So let's see. They don't have to go for the crit strat immediately, but I think it would make a lot of sense. And I also think a lot of people are just going to underestimate Dartrix in this spot. Let's see if they go for the self-target. We have T-Tar in the back. No Terra, no Switch, no Protects. Okay. Sweet. Okay, perfect. Yep. So you crit yourself. I think my main fear from here would be Icy Wind, Frostlass, Protect, and then another Icy Wind, Tauros outpaces us. They Raging Ball us, but that's fine. We have Sash. Okay. Good. I now set up Tailwind. Okay, so now I want to go Rain Dance, Electric Terra, Electro Shot. Priority would be bad if either of their Pokemon had it right now, because then I don't get the attack off with the Archaludon. Terra. This is Fire Tauros, not Water Tauros. Normally you would expect Aqua Jet on Water Tauros. So let's see what they've got. Okay, Tauros protects. That's fine. Like, as long as they set up the Rain Dance, I think it's okay. But like I said, it might be Icy Wind coming out, which is a little bit scary. And this also could have been a side Bullet Seed this turn. So, good protect. If it's not Icy Wind, though, I totally feel fine. Like, Frostlass isn't that scary otherwise, but I think if you're running Frostlass, you should have Icy Wind on it. So let's see. No, just Shadow Ball. Okay, I don't mind that. It's not too bad for us. We have to be very careful, though, right now, because if I bring in T-Tar, I actually reset the weather. I have to go into Sinistcha, then. I could also just reset the weather and say with this special attack boost, I can just Thunderbolt you now. I'm mainly worried about a switch in to Ursaluna from their end, but I think Sinistcha can just counteract that. Yeah, I'll bring in Sinistcha. Okay. I really do think an Ursa switch in is imminent right now. I think I will Matcha Gotcha here. I will still Electro Shot. I just have to respect Tauros. Ideally, it just stays in and we KO it, but we'll see. I also could have protected with Sinistcha here, because I think it's likely they just Shadow Ball Sinistcha. If I had side Bullet Seeded last turn. Oh, okay, sweet. They don't switch. Or protect. So we should just get the knockout onto Tauros now. Great. And I also break a Focus Sash on Frostlass this way, which is also huge. But I have to be careful, because ideally we conserve Sinistcha to deal with the Ursaluna on their team. Although, now I'm wondering if they even have Ursaluna, because that would have been the perfect time to switch it in. Matcha Gotcha comes out. That did so much. Oh, and it's Destiny Bond. I mean, that is one of the classic moves on Frostlass. Frostlass is just such a rare Pokemon. So, Destiny Bond, Shadow Ball, Frost Breath. And good old Sneasler comes out. Okay. This Sneasler should be Psychic Seed. Trick Room is, your Tailwind's expiring, so I think we can actually just straight up Trick Room now. And ignore the Frostlass. That's one of the things I love about this team, the Tailwind early with Dartrix into Trick Room late game with Sinistcha. Okay, Sneasler protects, but it's fine. Because now I can just Thunderbolt you under Trick Room. As long as I'm not getting one-shot by a Shadow Ball here, Trick Room gets set up, and I just have Thunderbolt Matcha Gotcha. Archaludon's now boosted at +3. They just Shadow Ball us, but I don't think this should KO us. Yeah, nice. Perfect. Citrus heals us up, and now it's Sneasler's worst nightmare, which is fighting under Trick Room. I think where this game becomes interesting is if my opponent actually has Ursaluna as their last one. Because that was what I was thinking they would have in the whole time. If Sneasler's out here, it makes me think it's Indeedee. Would you really not want to bring Ursa into this comp? I don't know. But I think now I'm happy to just click Matcha Gotcha and Thunderbolt. Oh, I could have just Electro Shot it again there for another free special attack boost. I mean, it still had Rain up. So, should have been Electro Shot. That's always more optimal. I just thought Rain had expired. But, yeah, with you having protected Sneasler, I don't even think this Frostlass has Protect. They're going to Terra. Okay. Terra Sneeze. I mean, Terra Ground would be interesting. But it's just Terra Dark. Cool. Yeah, I think you just get blown up now by Thunderbolt. Cool. Matcha Gotcha comes out from Sinistcha. It does like 60% to Sneasler. Oh my gosh. Wow. And we heal basically back up to full. Wow. I knew Sinistcha would be good in this one, but it was great. Now we're Archaludon Thunderbolts. The cool thing with Sinistcha is even if my opponent has Ursaluna coming out, like Matcha Gotcha does a ton of damage to you as you switch in. And so there's no safe opportunity for Ursa to come out once we had it, the Sinistcha paired with the Archaludon. their last one is. If it was Ursaluna this whole time, then I think my opponent would have had... It is just Indy, perfect. Yeah, I think it's like if I'm in my opponent's shoes and I was thinking about adjusting in a best of 3, I would consider bringing Ursaluna out and then hard switching into Ursa. But in a best of 1, it's so hard to predict what kind of sets I have, right? So, yeah. I think the early Tailwind into late Trick Room has been such a viable strategy while we've shown off this team, and this just continues to be the case. Gotcha comes out. Honestly, Sinistcha's damage output in this game was ridiculous. Like, Machagacha did 70% to Frostlass, and I ended up KOing it, 60% to Sneasler with the crit, and then like 50 here to Indy, right? But yeah, I think what I love about this team is like you just have no idea what kind of Archaludon set it is, because like you wouldn't expect an Electro Shot on a team that doesn't have a Pelipper, right? But the manual rain on Dartrix enables it so much more, which I really, really love. So fortunately, the main thing here is I figured with Focus Sash on Dartrix, we probably are pretty safe because a lot of people expect Eviolite. But of course, if my opponent didn't go for Frost Breath onto their own Tauros and just doubled up onto Dartrix on turn 1, that would have been very, very bad for us, right? But I figured the element of surprise here should be able to give us a big advantage. And fortunately, that was the case. I think if Dartrix faints on turn 1, they double up into it and I just protect Archaludon, I'd probably just lose the game immediately, honestly. I guess then I'd probably actually bring out Sinistcha and then... either Rage Powder and attack. I can't really attack with Archaludon though, right? It just doesn't do enough damage if Dartrix hasn't really enabled it. So maybe Trick Room, switch into T-Tar. Like Water Terra, switch it. Yeah, Water Terra, Trick Room, switch into T-Tar would probably be my play, and then we play the game from there. But yeah. We're up against Will, who I featured his coaching ranked #1 Baxcalibur team, which was one of my favorite teams from this season. And I know he recently just reached rank #1 actually on the ladder with the exact team that he's using. So we've had a great win streak. I feel like this is an awesome one to cap off the episode one way or another. So Will's got the Dragonite, Annihilate, Rillaboom, Golden Go, Dondozo, and Incineroar. I think this is the Focus Sash coaching Annihilate that we've seen, which is scary. I am willing to bet Will has also maybe seen this team since I initially saw it on Twitter. So I wonder if it hit his algorithm as well. If so, the element of surprise is going to be not as effective, but I kind of still want to just give Dartrix a shot. The problem is I think Dragonite Annihilate is one of the leads to respect. I almost wonder if I can bait a Scale Shot and then hard switch Archaludon in. T-Tar is also nice because it breaks Multi-Scale and Focus Sash. I actually almost want to lead T-Tar for that reason. But then it also breaks my Dartrix's Focus Sash, which is not ideal. Dartrix, T-Tar, Arch, Sinistcha. Okay, I'm gonna try this out. This is a little chaotic. I think Ursa also could have been good. But what I'm trying to do with this lead is bait out a Scale Shot into Dartrix and hard switch it into Archaludon turn 1. And then, like, Flying Terra knockoff Dragonite, maybe. This might be totally crazy. Golden Go Dragonite, okay. It's not the best for us. You have Scale Shot. It's the problem with Scale Shot and Haze, I think, which is really scary. They could just make it rain right now. T-Tar is such a big threat that I almost wonder if it gets doubled up into. Like, I'm thinking of Tailwinding here. Switching in Arch. The question is, how much does he respect Dartrix? This is the fundamental scary thing about Dartrix. It is not a very fast Tailwind user, so we can just get potentially popped immediately. The good thing is multi-skill will now be broken. Terra comes out, okay? And gold, yep, water. Okay, now Electric Terra Thunderbolt you. I can Electro Shot though if Dartrix faints, but think I really wanted the sand to break the sash and the multi-skills early. Nasty plot from Golden Go, yeah. It's probably scale shot into Dartrix. Oh, yes, it worked! Nice! Okay, my Gambit worked. That is huge. Oh my gosh, and now I have a super effective Leaf Storm with Dartrix onto the Golden Go. It also means I can Rain Dance Electro Shot, right? Okay, this was so good. So good. Dragonite does get a little cheeky speed boost, but that's fine. Now I Tailwind. So the thing is, Dragonite here could have Tailwind, it could have Haze. Dartrix, Dragonite, Golden Go. Yep. I mainly am worried about Haze. You could Haze, Protect. I'm leaning towards Rain Dance, though. Electro Shot. Do I need to commit my Terra? I don't think so, right? With you having Terra, yeah. Yeah, I'd like to Rain Dance Electro Shot. I just think Golden Go can protect her, so I could target Dragonite down instead. It's fine, because I get, like, yes, you haze away everything, but the main thing here is now I change the weather, so then now I can knock out the Golden Go. But if I made the read there and just targeted Dragonite, that could have been, like, game-winning. Okay. Yep. Oh, it's actually just Scale Shot. I don't mind that, because it's a free switch-in for me. Oh, that was really smart. The reason why this is really smart is because now you can just haze with Dragonite. Right? Because you should outpace me even though I've set up Tailwind. The question is, do we think Golden Go also switches out? It might. But if we eliminate, like, Golden Go is the main threat. I don't need to commit Terra yet. I also wonder how much Leaf Storm just does in the Golden Go. I think Golden Go might switch out here. Yeah. I really wanted to just rip Electric Terra Dragonite there, but this is still okay. It's just frustrating because I think I could have gotten a lot more value out of Arch in this game so far. But I think it's still fine because we can angle for a Trick Room setup now with Sinistcha. Yeah, so Haze finally comes out. Leaf Storm actually did pretty good damage there. So honestly, I wonder if Leaf Storm was just a KO onto Golden Go, because if so, then the turn that I like Rain Danced, I could have gone... No, I would still need to enable Archaludon, yeah, so that doesn't work. Okay, we damage Rilla. I think ideally right now we want to position to set up Trick Room. You could fake out into us. It's the last turn of Tailwind. You could also fake out into Dartrix. Probably should be fake out into Archaludon. Scale shot into Dartrix. I'm down to boost Archaludon's defense here, though. So Bullet Seed into you and Electro Shot into Dragonite. Then get Sinistcha in and then set up Trick Room. Oh, Dragonite protects. Okay. Grassy Glide, that makes sense. Really fascinating game, honestly. Very fun. I wish I had a little bit more commitment to making hard reads in this one, because I think the Golden Goal Protect and Switch were fairly obvious, but I figured if you wanted to play risky and I called it incorrectly, it's just so bad for me. Okay. Tailwind Peter's out. So now I think we angle to Trick Room. I bring out Sinistcha, and I think what I want to do is Electric Terra, Electroshot to try to KO Dragonite, Trick Room with Sinistcha. I think they'll likely consider hazing again right now with Dragonite, but that's fine. We still have 2 turns of rain to work with. Yeah, so Trick Room here, Electric Terra, Electroshot. Golden Go is not going to be a huge problem given that you've Water Terra since I can Matcha Gotcha plus Thunderbolt. Rillaboom, not a huge threat to me either. So, even though in this early game my opponent's done a really good job of mitigating my resources, I think it's actually still not a bad spot for us. But yeah, I think I could have just gotten a little bit more value out of Archaludon in this game if I had played a little bit more aggressively. But I don't mind forcing the Golden Go to switch, because right now we're not threatened by one-shots from their end. Oh, they just Scale Shot. Okay, that's huge. Because Sinistcha should survive Scale Shot plus Wood Hammer, barring a crit. And that final Scale Shot I think is actually beneficial for us since it puts us in citrus range, so we heal back up. Great. Defense drop. That doesn't really matter since Dragonite should be fainting here after this turn. Yep, Wood Hammer. Sweet. Citrus was huge. Okay. Out on Electro Shots. We'll actually end up leaving with a lot of special attack, but no defense increase, which is a little unfortunate. And then the big question I have is, what is their final one? Trick Room is set up now. Dondozo is the biggest problem, I think. I can also activate my own stamina right now, which is unfortunate. Comes out. You can bring out gold and then bait out like an attack into it and then hard switch Rilla. It is gold. Okay. Last turn of rain, 2 turns of grassy terrain. Sinistcha could obviously switch into T-Tar. I could protect right now. Do we have to respect this? Like, I have to respect Woodhammer Shadow Ball just doubling up into Arch right now. Honestly, I think I'm happy just clicking Matcha Gotcha and Electroshot into Rillaboom. Yep, Rilla pivots. Great, into Annihilate, so we should just pop that. Protect, perfect. Okay. And Sinistcha right now honestly may just carry us in this endgame because Grassy Terrain is set up, Matcha Gotcha heals so much, and I deal super effective damage into Golden Go. Okay. Electroshot. Arch is boosted. And Annihilate fits. Perfect. Yeah, this was always a safe play to make because I think we knock out Rilla anyway, even if it stays in. Like, it's what, +4 Electroshot? And they were at, like, you know, around 50% and Grassy Terrain boosted. So now you bring out Rilla. You obviously have Fake Out, but it's fine. Rilla shouldn't be able to protect. Tyranitar's our last one. And there's still 3 turns of Trick Room left, which is great. So I'm happy to just Matcha Gotcha now and Thunderbolt into Golden Goal. Could go for double Protect Woodhammer. You could also Fake Out Shadow Ball. Yep. Fake Out into Arch, which gives us a defense boost, which is actually pretty nice. But I get Matcha Gotcha off now, and with that Water Terra being baited out so early on, we can leverage that. Oh my gosh! That probably heals us back all the way to full, right? Okay, that's Rillaboom's recovery. And now from the Golden Go, nice, back to full HP. Citrus on Golden Go. It's fine. Reflinch. Nasty plot, yeah. That's okay though, right? Because I think Matcha Gotcha KOs them. No more terrain. 2 turns of Trick Room left. The question is whether or not I want to play around the double protect, because I could Matcha Gotcha, what are we, +4 special attack. What I don't want to lose to is this clicking Make It Rain, because I think right now it's pretty easy to Matcha Gotcha and Thunderbolt into Golden Go, but Golden Go should always be protecting here, right? Like, so the question is whether or not they want to play towards a double protect win con. Because if I end up Thunderbolting Rilla, reading protect, yeah, I think I'll just force them to double. There's Matcha Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out, like, I don't know, I could have read the obvious protect here and just target Rillaboom down. I just wasn't sure if I'd even KO, to be honest. When Hammer comes out, doesn't really do too much to us. Gives me a stamina boost. Okay. So you think they should always be going for the double right now, right? I'm a Matcha Gotcha again. Yeah, I think this game I was like, if I had played around the double, I could have knocked out Rilla, but Rilla doesn't really cause too much trouble at any rate from this point on. I'm just thinking maybe I should take the knockout onto Rilla right now. They do get the double. Well, at least we knock out Rilla. I think it should still be okay, because I don't think you can knock out both of my Pokemon. Okay, what a crazy game. Yep, Rilla faints. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Make It Rain KOs both, right? Trick Room expires. I could also switch into T-Tar here, sack T-Tar to get more recovery on Archaludon. What if they were to Nasty Plot again, though? That would be crazy. Like, I'm fairly sure we should survive Make It Rain here. But maybe the better play is to actually protect Sinistcha Thunderbolt. This way, even if you knock me out, you're only at +1 special attack at the end of the turn. Okay, there's Make It Rain. Nice. Oof. What a run we had with the Dartrix team. This was actually nuts. Like, this is legit. The main thing is Dartrix is it can be completely useless, and so like we have to kind of use the element of surprise and hope our opponents don't really know what it has to offer. But turn 1 worked out perfectly. My opponent made really great plays after the first turn to kind of claw back into it. Since Archaludon looked like it was in such good shape, but I think we actually had a pretty good team advantage with the Sinistcha plus the Archaludon combo, and the Dragonite not going for Haze and then going for Scale Shot instead just put me in a really good spot, because then the Archaludon was just so boosted up, right? And then being able to knock out Annihilate that's it switched in was huge as well. But that was so much fun, and I'm so happy to be able to feature a Pokemon like Dartrix and bring it out against so many good opponents in today's episode. So that's going to be it for this one. Thanks so much as always for joining me. My name's Aaron CybertronZang, and I'll see you all next time. Also, I'm actually curious. Let's see what rank we ended up on. We actually ended up finishing rank number 16 after today's run of games, and so yeah, just a lot of good fortune with a lot of consecutive matchups where Dartrix was able to work, and of course some of the games that we didn't bring it in. But to take this team all the way this high on the ladder, I think is honestly really, really awesome, and it's a testament to Dartrix really being able to catch opponents off guard. And of course Archaludon is the main carry Pokemon on this team, so the Dartrix is just the enabler, but no one really knew what it did, and we were able to get so many surprise Rain Dances and Tailwinds and Bullet Seeds off in this one, which was so awesome. So thanks as always for watching, and I'll see you all soon. All right, peace.